We went to Bali for Jake's 30th birthday and we're going to do a little review to see how we found it.
Went to check in and then she's like, as she was doing it, she was like, oh, have you seen this rip? Tiny little rip on my passport. You've got to go speak to a manager or whatever. Comes back like, oh, you're not going to be able to fly with us. I was like, what?
You made it to Bali a week in, but during that week, we were living our best life. Wishing you were there, of course. We did wish you were there.
We ain't even told you lots about this, have we?
We was looking at each other like, what's going on? And driver of the Grab was going, he looked scared, and he was going, I'm sorry, lads.
Yeah, he couldn't speak English,
and
really. And he just said, I'm sorry. We're like, mate, drive. The day I got there, we did the quad biking in the morning.
Temple run quad biking.
That was
yeah, we went up
sick.
to literally, so there's like a forest. Monkey forest, hundreds of monkeys, right, all over. So I stood on its leg or arm or something, and it squealed, and then all the monkeys just go, whoa, 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 and they all just come out of nowhere. Like the big alpha's coming in. I was so scared, so I just run. I was like, oh, fuck. There was people. I was like, get away, and I was running. Oh my days, I was so scared.
The way I described Bali is it's an absolute shithole until you hit paradise, and then it is full on paradise.
You visited your friend in a Thai jail.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that for the listeners?
Yeah, here's a tip of the day. Do not.
Welcome back to another episode of the Multipliers Club. Today we're in the studio with the OGs. We're going to do a Bali review. The last time we were in this studio, it was actually us.
No, lie. We've been about 3 times, mate.
Yeah, we filmed a few podcasts.
Last time I was in the
Last time you
studio.
decided
Yeah, he
to
was
show
actually,
up.
yeah. Was that actually the last time you was
I think
here?
it was the last time
How
I was
many have you
here.
missed?
2, 3. I missed the ones you
Crypto.
guys
He
had.
missed Stan, Crypto, George, Lineker, and Raheem.
It's because you guys decided that you wanted to start doing pods in the afternoon, and I started doing the US
No, it's
market.
you decided.
But I have
that
to
you
say,
was
as
gonna
much
do
as
the
I
US
love the
market,
Multipliers Club, Luke will back me on this. We signed some serious business in the USA that week.
it was worth not turning up.
It was
for.
worth not turning up. I'm gutted I missed it. But today we are going to be reviewing our Bali trip.
We're also going to be reviewing your status on the pod, actually.
Yeah.
We're going to be reviewing my status on the pod to see if I actually want it enough.
Should Sam stay? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we should do a poll. Should Stan be booted out from the Multipliers Club? Do it on TikTok. He'll definitely get all the votes to leave. Innit? They hate him on TikTok.
I don't know, when I look at the metrics, I get the views,
You get views,
you get
but you also get hate, yeah.
To be fair, recently, not so much. It's got to start to get my facts right.
It's because you've not been on it, that's why.
So we went to Bali for Jake's, how old are you now, mate?
30.
They're old. Jake's 30th birthday. And we're going to do a little review to see how we found it. Obviously, I know it's the first time you boys have all been to Bali. I've been there once prior. Let's start with you, Jake. It was for your 30th. What was your experience like with Bali?
Yeah, sick. I think we should do it definitely in chronological order, like Luke suggested, where
We
start
talk
off
about Joe, really.
It starts with me, mate.
It all starts with Joe. To be fair. Like, drama from the offset, right?
Yeah. So these boys, because I was originally meant to be going Bali, then I couldn't come. So then, and then last minute, I could make it happen. So I thought, let me just book a flight. But I didn't even tell these boys.
you told Luke.
Yeah, I told Luke because I did tell one guy that was going, because obviously I needed to know where they would be. And he said, you need to tell Luke because, surprise, surprise, Luke was the man booking everything, head of ops. So I told Luke, but then the rest of the people out there didn't know. And so we filmed a podcast on the morning, said the goodbyes to these guys. They was going to get their flight in a few hours. Mine was like a few hours later than theirs at Heathrow. So headed up to Heathrow, excited, business class flights as well. So it's like 20 hours or something to get to Bali. I used all my Amex points and I was gassed to be flying business class. I was excited about the flight.
You've never done it before, right?
I've never done a long haul business class, and it was like Qatar Airways, whatever it's called, Q Suite or something.
I was on the Q Suite.
Yeah.
Oh, was it Qatar?
Yeah, so it was like the best. It was like the best business class, and I was like,
if it's Q Suites, that's serious.
So
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I was so gassed. Got to the airport. You go through the own little section bit. They give you a drink whilst you're waiting for your suitcase, and then I thought, oh yeah, this is it. Went to check in, and then she's like, as she was doing it, she was like, oh, have you seen this rip? Tiny little rip on my passport.
You've got a picture of that, innit?
Yeah.
Harry, you'll have to insert.
Make sure my details are crossed out. And I was like, no, I'd just literally come back from Crete 3 days before something and had no issue as well. So I was like, no, And she's like, okay, just give me a second. Go speak to a manager or whatever. Comes back like, oh, you're not going to be able to fly with us. I was like, what?
I bet your heart dropped.
Yeah, I was like, what? I was thinking, what? You know those situations where normally
someone's winding you up.
any of these kind of situations, worst case scenario, I just get myself out of those situations. You can normally chat someone over, you can sort something, you can call someone you know, you can pay them, you can do something. But I hate situations where I feel powerless. I was like, and I was just trying, and she was like, no, you're not going to be flying with Qatar. And basically she said Bali's super strict, and I think it turns out that if they let you fly, Bali will make the airline pay for your flight back and fine them, so they just won't take the risk.
So strict.
Yeah.
So I spoke to someone, and then basically all they said is you could go over. I was in like Terminal 4. They said you can go Terminal 2. Singapore Airlines also has a flight out, so you can ask if they'll let you fly. So I had to trek over to Terminal 2, which is long as well. That took me like half hour or something. Went there, asked them. They said I could have gone to Singapore, but not to Bali. Same thing, they wouldn't let me. So I thought, fuck. Looking up how long it would take to get a passport, thinking you could do express, but if it's damaged or lost, it takes a week as express. So I thought, oh, I'm going to miss like half the trip if there's a couple days in between as like extra as well. So anyway, I sat down, had a beer, was contemplating what to do. And then I see all the desk where people are. And obviously I'd spoke to Singapore, and I thought, well, there's no point me going to Singapore because that's like a 2-day place. Obviously Bali weren't letting me fly, and then there was Thailand, and I went to Thailand last year, and I thought, oh, you know what, let me go and speak to them. Asked them, they said they'd let me fly. And I thought, there's no way I'm getting back on the M25 going home. So I said, have you got a seat available? And they had one. They didn't have a seat, but then they just upgraded someone from economy to business. So in the end, they did have a seat. So I could book it there and then. 1,200 quid though, one way.
Yeah.
I was like, how much is business? Because I had my mindset on business. How much is business? Like 4.5, 5 grand.
One
with
way.
Thai Airways. I
When
was
you
like,
do
what?
like-
I was like, no, thank you. So yeah, one way. So booked a flight, and then it was a weird emotion shift because then I was so upset, gutted, everything. Yeah, like couldn't believe it. But then get to the other side, I'm like, well, now I'm going to Thailand, so I'm kind of back excited. Like I'm gutted that I'm not going Bali, but I'm now mad excited that I'm on my own. I've just spontaneously booked a trip to Thailand to go solo, and I thought, fuck it, make the most of it. Was sat between two old middle-aged bald geezers at the back of the plane, in the middle, economy, for 12 hours. Like, didn't sleep at all. It was a night flight. I was like,
You know why that must have been so hard to process is because you had your mind set, you were flying business,
I know.
and then you were stuck between two old guys in
know.
economy.
Literally.
For how many hours was
12
it? 12
hours. Just
Mad thing, we were talking like literally that morning. Obviously, we came in, we did the
Yeah.
podcast because we were going away. We were talking about missing flights and stories. We missed flights and stuff. And then that day, you couldn't get a flight. My missus
and
didn't
yours,
get,
yeah. So because that was it. So we were speaking about it the morning. Then you messaged me. What happened with
You
yours?
were nearly not, well, Alex was nearly not allowed
Alex,
to
so
fly,
my
right?
missus, she was like, it was put down as Alexandra, and her name's Alex, and they weren't having any of it.
I've
They
booked
weren't.
Alex as Alexandra for the past 4 or 5 years.
Really?
Yeah. I've looked back through all the bookings when I got home. I checked it. I've booked as Alexandra the whole time. He's never noticed it,
No.
and I've never really.
And I checked her in as
and
Alexandra as well, like just because I was.
But her
checking
name's
quite
not
quick.
Alexandra.
That's
No,
Alex.
it's Alex on the
But it's just-
passport.
yeah.
But I've always had it down as Alexandra. Say booked her for like 5 years. He's never spotted it, and like I've never obviously I don't know what it is on the passport. We don't take passports really. We just.
Then lucky I
put
was
the
with
names
Jake.
in.
Because then he was like, they were trying to blag it. They were not having any of it, like saying they're going to call security.
He was beefing.
And
He
then,
was beefing the guy. Alex is like, "What are you doing, Luke?"
Do you know why it's so funny is Luke started the conversation off with the person at the front desk like, yeah, so what's the chances of getting upgraded to business? And I'm
Went,
like,
none.
You probably won't even be able to fly economy,
Oh,
mate.
yeah, that was literally it. I was like, oh well, this went downhill quick time. And then they were like, well, you're going to have to pay for the flight again. And I was thinking, so you know what I was thinking? If we miss this flight, or if Alex misses the flight, am I going to miss the flight as well? I was like, okay, cool. Joe's getting a flight later, so maybe I'll just get on his flight. Worst case scenario, and that's what I was thinking. And luckily, Jake was on the phone. With like 2 minutes to go, deadline in it of last purchase ticket, we managed to get like a seat. So
But I remember when you told me that message, that's what I was thinking. I was like, that's crazy. I was like, we was literally talking about that earlier. Now you've nearly missed flight. I was like, that's mad. Oh, glad she made it. This is me on my way to the airport thinking, that's crazy. I can't believe we was talking about that earlier. Then I get there and it happens to me, and I was like, oh.
Mate, we called the universe and said, can you come and fuck us up, please?
Yeah, literally. We got law of attraction.
That's exactly what it was. You know what? I'm so conscious now since that experience in Bali when we spoke about missing flights. And then you guys, well, you did miss a flight. You nearly missed a flight. When I went to the airport Thursday last week, I wasn't even trying to entertain the idea of that coming into my mind.
And then obviously, you were in Thailand, and then we were like, oh, look, just come over to Bali, because we actually went through without having to show anybody. Like, it all had scanners, so we didn't actually have to give anyone our passport. And your passport was fine. It was just a tiny little thing, so it would have gone through.
Yeah, so you had to sort your visa up front, you said, didn't it? So, so I did a week in Thailand on my own, or I did like half the time on my own. And then, to be fair, it's pretty sick because there's two things that I semi feel like I missed out the experience of. Not necessarily that I'd want to do, but, well, one I'd want to do, one I wouldn't. Uni, but not to go for 3 years, but just like, I feel like when all your mates were at uni for the first like 6 months, I felt like I was missing out just on the partying side, to be honest. And then solo traveling, you know, where all your mates are going, I'm like, oh man, that's so sick. And then, literally, to be honest, going for a week is actually enough. I've actually feel like I've fully experienced solo traveling. I don't feel that urge to go and quit and go for a year. In fact, I'm glad I never done that, because I don't know how you could survive for that long. It's quite intense, to be honest, because this is what happened to my mate Dill. Because every time you go to a new area, you want to make friends. You don't want to just sit on your own in a room. You want to make friends. You want to get to know people, but it's all drink. It's like, we're just going to go grab a beer during a come. It's like, I'll grab a beer. And then one beer, when you're there, just leads to a night out till 4 a.m, like, every night. So it's pretty intense, drinking and stuff. So yeah.
You visited your friend in a Thai jail.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that for the listeners?
Yeah, here's a tip of the day. Do not, if you're going away, do not to Thailand or any of those places. He overstayed his visa, basically. It was one of those, it's like, I don't know how much it is for a visa, 20 quid, 50 quid. And I think then after a period, you have to leave for a day and come back or something.
Refresh
And out in Thailand, you can properly just pay for anything. That's how the culture is out there. You can just buy anything, basically.
Yeah, my mate bought a degree.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, from the University of Shoreditch or something.
Really?
Is there even a university in Shoreditch?
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So I think the mindset was probably, he can get it sorted. And then, basically, long story short, he went to I think he got it sorted, left the country, all okay, came back, there was like a wrong stamp or something. And then he got nearly, they went to stamp it and then noticed there was something wrong, and then at the airport, and then basically got put in prison. He got what was it, with pleading guilty, I think he got a year and 4 months. And so
how long has he been in the prison for?
I think he's got like another 8 months or something.
And when you spoke to him about his experience in prison, that was the maddest thing he said to you?
Mate,
luckily he's only got to share a room with about 40 people, right?
Yeah, it's not so bad.
So, and he's got a mattress.
Yeah, so
and a table.
It's savage, man. He's got share cell with like 35, 40 people.
That's so grim, bro.
The mattress top, like, he's got it as good as you can have it in there. So but instead of one mattress topper, and it's like this big, he's got 2 mattress toppers. He's got a table which he said's worth like 3.5 grand. Don't know why. Things are just mad expensive in prison. Like,
with the table, then is it like a communal table for everyone in his cell, or is it just his table? What does he do with the table?
I don't know, eat his food at it or something. I don't know.
Then with like 40 people in there, surely like you might go to the gym or some shit. You come back and some dollars.
Someone's near the table.
Yeah, probably.
No.
I don't know.
Can't hide it, and then there's so.
Has he been in any trouble in there? Like, I could imagine it kicks off a lot in there.
Yeah. Obviously, I don't know how much to say really, because I don't know what he wants me to say. I can't really ask, innit? But he said this. He's all right now. He's good now. But he said, it's
tough.
It's everything that you'd think is It's run by the prisoners. There's no prison guards.
You know what the problem is with
No
the
prison guards
ties?
whatsoever.
Yeah, so he said there's these like he said it's weird. There's these fake prison guards, but they're not actual prison guards. So like they will wear white or something. He said, but basically, if it all kicks off, they rely on the most experienced prisoners to.
That's terrifying,
sort
man.
it
Because
out.
the thing is with these Thais, they learn Muay Thai from the age of like 4. You know,
Yeah.
these guys kick down banana trees with their bare shins. Like the Thais are some tough individuals. Don't let the short height fool you. Like they will fuck you
or
up.
skinny or anything, they can still just fuck you. But he said like now, he said it's calmed down a little bit. Obviously there's different wings and stuff. But he said because you can train boxing and Muay Thai and stuff, and they've got gloves in there. They've got some gym equipment that his mate donated. He owned a gym in Phuket, donated, so they've got on their sell like some gym equipment. But he said if anyone has trouble, they try and encourage it now where they actually put the gloves on, and basically then there's not a lockdown because you're loud, so they can kick the shit out of each other, but with gloves
I think
on.
that's good. I like that. I think like if you have a problem, you can put on the gloves and then it's squashed after. That's a good way to
No one
run
gets
things.
seriously injured, innit?
Yeah, unless you lose the fight and then you get bitter about it. Snooker balls and socks and shit. I don't know if that's just a UK thing. Anyway, so you made it to Bali a week in, but during that week, we were living our best life. Wishing you were there, of course. We did wish you were there. But we all got so ill. Like, I think 2 days in, I got really bad Bali belly.
You know it come from Finns, and that's where I must have got it from. I'm telling you, bruv. TikTok's told me, I've seen
Luke was ill
Finns
from
like
Finns
that.
as
and
well.
mine kicked in like 2 days later. But I thought that's why I thought it was Singapore, but it definitely wasn't. It was definitely Bali.
I think in Bali, because I went there last year, well, I was there this year again in January, I got food poisoning from one of the nicest beach clubs, El Cabron, and that was pretty tough because it was like the most expensive place. But I got food poisoning from a restaurant where everybody else ate as well. And for 2 days, I was literally just being sick and like shitting at the same
that was
time.
ours, wasn't it? It was called
Hours,
in.
yeah.
Is
And
that the one
What
in
did you eat?
I had like this chicken and mashed potato
He
thing.
played the same thing as you, though, didn't he?
I had the same
Yeah.
thing as like 2 or 3 other people, which is why it's weird. But I think with salmonella, it could just be a little bit of bad chicken or something that could do you. But you just feel so vulnerable when you're that ill. Like I was, like my missus, she saw me shit myself like 2 times, and I was just lying on the bathroom floor in a pool of my own mess. And I just thought like someone could run into this apartment right
Wouldn't
now.
even care.
They could steal everything. They could do some take and shit, you know, steal my missus, and I wouldn't be able to do shit, like nothing. I was defenseless. You know, you can't keep water down, but you're so thirsty,
dehydrated,
it's
so
coming back up.
dehydrated, innit? It's crazy.
It's scary because like the stuff that comes out your body after a few hours because there's nothing else left. Like my experience was I was just having like this black stuff come out, like this vile
black.
stuff. It was just awful, man. It was so bad. I actually considered like wanting to go home after 2 days. I was like, man, this is so tough.
Out of the 12 of us that went, well, is it 12? Yeah, it was 12 in total. All 12 was ill.
Did they?
And
Every day there was always
Yeah, April
2
was
people
ill
that couldn't come
all the
out.
time.
Like every single. That's the thing. It's like so mad that you're on holiday and every night at least 2 people just can't come
Yeah.
out.
Me and Vulcan were the only 2 that survived.
You got it.
And
Both
we
you
got
at the
it
end.
right at the end on the lot. Not in Bali though. I got it literally. I went to Singapore for a day on the way home, and then literally as I got to the airport, I felt to do a 19-hour journey home.
Worst time to
It
get
hit me, and I felt so rough. I was like freezing cold. But then my head was hot and I was like sweating, and like, I was in the airport just shivering cold, and I was like, this is all, I've got nowhere to warm up. I'm just so cold.
So two people actually got salmonella, obviously got tested
and on drips
for it.
Yeah,
and
my-
actually
my-
ended up
on
on
drip.
drips.
My
yeah.
missus was so ill. Like, she wasn't actually being that sick, though. It was more like the other way. But she ended up on a drip for like 3 days. And Gilly, she couldn't even leave the island, leave the hotel room, because she was just fucked. She had to stay on a drip for like 3 days. I've never seen her so ill. I actually felt bad. And I was like, if I'm here with you, I can't really even help you. So I went out.
Shall I play this TikTok
Every
to
day.
give anyone listening some advice? Because I actually see it, and I thought, did I send it to you, Luke?
That's the
Told me
worst
about
thing
it,
about
told me
Bali
about it.
is
It's
the
actually-
food,
Bali
innit?
belly.
It's actually...
Was it Finns to do Finns?
No, but I've seen... That's why I said Finns earlier. I've seen so much about Finns where, like, people are just being fucked from there.
But it could be literally like you've gone in the like we're talking about, isn't it? You go in the pool, and then like there's food on the side, and you just eat pizza.
Yeah,
you're handling
it's
money,
actually-
and you're not washing your hands at all.
I've literally only been
Listen, ready?
sick in the way that people describe having Bali belly a handful of times.
I've
And I'm
just
gonna
sped it
tell you
up. Let me
everything
get to
I
the
do
main bit, innit?
to prevent getting sick at all. Number one, if you're a tourist, please brush your teeth with bottled water. It's not fucking
That's
worth
essential, isn't it?
using the tap water. I use the tap water. I've used it for 4 years. I've never had a problem. But if you have a sensitive
I know
stomach or
something
you've never
interesting
come to age
about
before,
this, actually.
just
I'll
wash your
tell
teeth
you
with bottled
after.
water. It's really not that much hassle. Number 2, this is a big one. Wash your hands
Wait.
always before touching.
Do you know what's clapped? I'm going to hold my hands up in it. I think all of us, to be honest, like, that's actually so basic and obvious, but I was never doing that. Like, to be honest, like, if I was in the pool, like, if you're at the beach club and you're at the pool and you're whatever, you've ordered pizza or something to do your sunbed, like, I wouldn't go and wash my hands. I'll just get out of the pool, probably dry my hands and shit, and then just start munching pizza.
Yeah, I was the same.
Handle your cash, all of the cash, and, like, pass them that, which is all dirty.
You know what I learned about Bali Belly, right, is the locals out there, they don't get sick, or people that have lived there for a while don't get sick. It's because in Indonesia, there's certain bacterias that we're not exposed to in the UK. So what people get advised if they want to move to Bali, they actually brush their teeth with the tap water because it builds up immunity to the bacterias. But from where we haven't ever been exposed to them, it's just like the smallest bit of bacteria, like washing your hands, get a bit on your tongue. That it could be as simple as that could get you ill. And
that's what she said. She said, like, start, and then you just, after a bit, she said start with easy foods and then build up. She said she takes probiotics every day.
Yeah.
And then she now brushes without the water and everything, without the bottles.
I don't know about you boys, but like when I was in Bali in January, I got ill as well, but I loved it so much. All I wanted to do was go back, to the point where I think I was back for like a week, and then I rebooked it to come with you in October.
Yeah, literally.
I just wanted to live there, but like the second time out there, it just changed it for me. I just thought, I don't know how to explain it. Like when you get so ill and just seeing how bad my missus was, it was actually scary. It's kind of just put me off the island a little bit. Like, because the hardest thing about when you've got Bali belly, and you boys know, is you're scared to eat anything after you've been that ill.
Yeah, their food, like...
Can't even eat for 3 days anyway. I didn't literally was buying food. You couldn't even like eat one mouthful. Like, I literally can't eat any more. Like, not one more.
And you're off the drink as well. Like, we were obviously out there to have a good time, have a few drinks, go out for some nice dinners. But you're like, you're looking at the food on your plate and you're just like pushing it around. Like, is that bit safe? It looks all right. Actually looks okay. Oh yeah, it tastes quite nice actually. But then it's like, actually, do you know what? I better not eat the whole thing just in case. Like, you just don't.
Right, that's why
you're off food.
I'm so grateful I didn't have it out there. So grateful. And to be honest, I always normally, one way or another, get kind of fucked on holiday anyway, feeling like mad, like ill or bloated or something. But I was fine.
Yeah, that was a negative.
I had a
That was
I'll
a
tell you
I
what,
don't,
we're
I don't
really
wanna
not
take
selling
it
Bali,
away
are we?
from, I don't want to take it away from
This is what I was
Bali
gonna
as a
say.
whole. Like, I do think Bali's
Bali
a
is sick. It was
beautiful
so sick,
place.
yeah.
Like, the people are amazing, some of the friendliest people you ever meet. It's just, naturally an amazing place. Just the only thing that kind of lets it down for me a little bit is just how ill you can get. I mean, we lost like half our holiday from it, really, when I calculated
The
it.
thing is, as Bali as a natural place, I was trying to think this when I was speaking to my mum when I got back. Obviously, I didn't get to do the first bit with you guys, and Uluwatu, I didn't even get to see it. I was there for a night, but apart from Surveyor Beach Club. But if you took out Gili Tea, which is actually not even Bali, then it's like, how good is actual Bali? Like, I loved it the last couple of days when that was banging, the sunsets and shit when we was down at where was that?
Gilly.
Nah, you
So-
know.
Oh, you
saying
guys.
if we took out Gili Tea, then I was thinking it's still sick, like going through the jungle in Ubud and stuff. But I was like, I don't know, how highly would I recommend Bali without Gili Tea?
I think my opinion on that is it depends what type of things you like. So I know obviously you're like very accustomed to luxury. I think we all are to a certain extent. Bali, you can stay in some beautiful hotels, but I think the whole appeal of Bali is the natural beauty, like the sunsets, the lakes, the beaches, etc. But I feel like from what locals were telling me, and like my mum's been going to Bali for years, is it's changed so much. Like 20 years ago, it wasn't as developed. You couldn't get Starbucks and McDonald's, and there wasn't all of that crazy traffic. It was just naturally a beautiful place in terms of the nature. But I think it's the island started to lose that quite a lot from how much it's changed and how developed it's getting. For example, you've got Indonesian rice farmers that have, lived off the land their whole life, but because Bali's such a hotspot ever since COVID now, you're getting like Russian or Middle Eastern property developers approaching these farmers with this beautiful land saying, we'll pay you 5 million quid if you sell us the land. They've lived in like poverty really their whole life. Of course they're going to take it. And then next thing, all those beautiful rice fields are turning into the next 5-star hotel or, apartments, etc. So it's just becoming a very built up place. It's not
It's
quite
got
how
everything.
it was.
It's got everything that you can want, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, I get that. I feel like, it's cheap.
Very cheap.
You can still go out for like nice luxury like dinners. Hotels are pretty
that cheap.
decent as well.
It weren't
Mate, I
that
thought it
cheap.
was mad cheap. I actually thought it was.
I thought it was
really
mad cheap. Yeah,
Gilly Tea was mad.
I'm talking like a third of the price as to what we would pay over here. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
on
like food
on
was
most
so
things.
cheap, man. Like £3 for like a meal.
Yeah.
I think
I think you
But even the nice places, I mean, the first night we went out, we paid £30 each for that food. But that was like steak, sides, starters, drinks. 30 quid each. That
With
would have cost
cocktails
us.
as well,
That's what I'm
actually,
saying.
yeah.
Yeah, drinks. Yeah, I mean that would have cost us probably 90 quid over here.
Yeah,
So that's what I'm
yeah,
saying. It
yeah.
was everything was a
Yeah,
third of the
suppose.
price of
I
everything.
think where we were staying as well, we were staying in 5-star hotels, so naturally, like, it's more expensive in those places than it would be if you were to stay in more of a boutique place.
Mate, the best thing that I thought was Gilly Tea.
Gilly
Gilly
was
was
sick.
fun,
the
man.
best.
Gilly was like
Gilly
a
was
lad's
so
holiday.
sick. I loved that place, innit? That was cool.
No
That's
cars, just
that's what I
bikes.
thought Bali would be like. Banging, just a proper island life. Because like I don't know, Bali didn't even really feel like it. Don't really feel like an island to me. Like it was just. You're
not really on the beach
it was
that
just
much.
Traffic everywhere. It take you
Yeah,
like
lots
2.5
of traffic.
hours to get somewhere in traffic. I was like, before my mate. I think maybe like what you're saying, Sam. Because like some of my mates have been like, one of my good mates went. Must have been at least 10 years ago, 12 years ago. And he's like, yeah, you can go from one side of the island to the other. We was going from like fucking here to, I don't know how far it'd be, but not even that far. And it'd be like 2 hours or 2.5 hours of just traffic. And I was like, this is long.
Do you know, that's it. The
'Cause
travel.
I hate traffic. That's the
Yeah.
thing. I can't stand
I
traffic.
think one
innit?
thing we might have got a bit wrong is I think we were travelling a bit too much in short
Yeah,
time
that's what I was
frames.
going to say. We moved around 5 times
In 2
like
weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, but I'm glad because I think every part was sick. So like, I don't.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah, it
saying.
was.
Everything
I
was
feel
calm.
I feel like we originally booked 3 weeks
Yeah.
to do the same thing, and then we changed it to 2 weeks, and then
really?
fit 3
Yeah.
weeks in. Yeah, we all had. I think you didn't have because you had to come back, but me and the others. We all had 3 weeks booked, and we actually
Okay.
changed our flights to come back earlier. It cost
Yeah.
us more to come back earlier as well, but everyone needs to get back for work.
When me and T
So
went
we
in
crammed
Jan,
it in.
we done 3 weeks and it was like the perfect time.
Yeah.
We done Uluwatu twice because we loved Uluwatu so much. But I mean, to tell you about how built up Bali's got, Uluwatu 20 years ago, it was the jungle. And the story of Uluwatu is some surfers were going through the jungle because they wanted to find a new surfing place. They found Uluwatu and it's just known for surfing. That's where all the surfers go, right? It's got the best waves. So it became popular for the surfers in like the early 2000s, and then the buzz got around and property developers started building huge hotels. But now all the surfers are like really angry because from where they're building on the cliff line, big rocks are falling into the sea, and apparently when the rocks are on the ocean bed, the waves don't formulate in the same way. So now all of the hippies are like, oh, you're ruining Uluwatu, bro. You know? But it's a
the
beautiful
move again.
place. It's a great place. Anyone who hasn't been to Bali, I'd highly recommend
Definitely,
it.
yeah. But Gilly Tea was so sick. Like,
Gilly
it's so
Tea
mad.
was
Like,
so
you
cool,
just
man.
get up, everyone just gets on the bikes, obviously rides around, or electric bike or on horse, and it's like 40 minutes the whole way around the island. I think no cars makes it a lot. It's sick.
No
There's
cars and no mopeds.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's not
That's it.
taxi.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, you're not getting-
Mushrooms.
but they're not just trying to sell heavy to you. It's just nice. They're nice people. Everyone's just chilled. There's no police there, is there? On the island?
Banging
I don't think I saw a
sunsets,
single police.
No, they don't have.
turtles.
That's
Did they
why.
not?
No, that's why there's weed and mushrooms allowed there. And you're not allowed in main Bali, you know.
About 20 minutes from Gili Tea, there's an island called, Lombok Island. So everyone who works in Gili are usually like Lombok residents. So they come to Gili for like a weekend or week to work and then they'll go back to Lombok. So I think it's policed by... But there's something crazy about Gili because Bali's got a 0 drug tolerance. Every other local was asking if I wanted to buy a bag.
Yeah,
You know?
it's Indonesia still, isn't it? It's in Indonesia have it's their rules.
Yeah, it's very strict.
Yeah.
Great place though.
Got sick there. Got play paddle there, and then they've got
Yeah,
clubs,
paddle.
and
Yeah,
they've got
that was good.
sunsets, swimming
Got
with
like
turtles.
2 sides to the island, innit? You got the like banging proper island feel, chilled bars just spread out at night. All comes together like lights and stuff. Just like sing a song. What's it called? Singer. Songwriter type vibe and saxophones and
people.
like
Oh, yeah.
guitar people. But then
Yeah,
you
I
walk
love
around the
that.
other side and at night that's where it gets lively,
Carnage.
innit? Bars, clubs.
Do you boys remember? I think you went with Jake. You guys went with Jake the next day. But when me and you, when all of the clubs finished in Gilly, we drove to the quiet side.
Yeah.
And it was like 3 a.m. You just look upstairs. You look up, and you just see the maddest stars, man. Yeah. We saw shooting stars. How many shooting stars did we see? Like 2 shooting stars.
Yeah, mate. We see the next day. Me and Jake see, and Theo. I don't know how we're all looking up at the same sky, and Theo missed it, but we see a shooting star. Next day we did the same thing, innit? My head was just spinning though. I was just looking up like, oh.
Fins was good though. Like when we went to Fins, that was on the first time. That was sick. Like I think Fins is the best beach I've ever been to.
I missed out on.
Yeah.
You think it's better than Surveyor?
No. I prefer Fins to Surveyor. Yeah,
Surveyor.
Yeah.
I weren't there for your one.
Surveyor's sick though. It's different, isn't it?
We went.
They're different vibes.
Yeah, it's different. Because a beach club. Surveyor ain't really like.
Surveyor was sick.
Surveyor's a club, innit?
Yeah.
The VIP table we got in Surveyor, I've never experienced anything like that. We had 2 security guards the whole time.
Yeah. Alex.
If we wanted to go to the toilet, they'd escort us and they'd move everyone out the way. And if we wanted to go to the dance floor, they'd walk us, they'd unleash the rope thing so we could go into the dance floor.
With us.
And they'd stand next to you.
They'd clear everyone out the way and form a circle on the floor so we could go. Everyone was looking at us like, who are these guys?
I give him like a $5 and he was just like attached to me all night.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, he was just like, oh, you give me money so I look after you.
And they wouldn't even let me like light a cigarette. I'd put one in my mouth and the guy would run over like with the lighter.
I was trying to give them the rest of the bill. You know, we had like 5 million not dirhams, 5 million Indonesian rupee left, which I can't even do the conversion now, but it's a little bit of money. And I was like, oh, we ain't gonna, we were done.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like, I was like, listen, you guys, thank you so much. Like, just keep the rest. Like, I know we've got minimum spend, keep it. I was like, no, you can't. You have to buy something. So we got to get something.
We bought a bottle to take back to the villa. This man, Luke, was holding it, gets out the taxi, smash.
Away goes.
What did we do in Uluwatu? Went Sundays. Was out in Uluwatu.
Sundays Beach Club, down the hill. And then we went to
paddleboarding.
I couldn't make Sundays.
Volleyball.
I was still fucked from Bali belly. Well, I went there in Jan, loved it though. How did you boys find Sundays?
Yeah, it was alright to be fair. Yeah,
beach is banging.
Volleyball.
I think I'd have rather gone to the El Cabron. Obviously, we didn't get to experience that, but I don't know how to. I mean, tell you what was good. That is it. Single fins.
Single fins. Oh yeah,
that was probably one of the best nights we had. I think. To be fair,
that was good.
I missed out on that as well. The day I got there, we did the quad biking in the morning.
Temple run quad biking.
We went up to Ubud, didn't it?
That was so sick. That was one of my favourite things.
Because it was like proper. Like,
I love that stuff. Like
through
activities. You know, I'm just like a kid, just smile on my face the whole time, just like this is so fun.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. That was one of the highlights for me, man. Quad biking through the jungle was.
What about the white water rafting?
Yeah, I've never done that before. That was sick. Yeah, I've never done that.
You missed it. I got there.
Oh, you did it as well, didn't you?
I done it, but separately.
Yeah,
me and April had gone off to 4 seasons.
Imagine go through and then there was little, I don't know for where you went, there was like halfway through there's just little kids selling beers to you. And then there's bare monkeys in one bit and then you just keep going.
Oh shit, the monkey story. I weren't there for this bit either, but tell them about what happened with the monkey.
Was mad, bruv. Like,
we need to get Harry Banks on.
To to be fair, you're the only one that was there.
Where was that? That was in.
Oh, was you not there?
None of us were there. Sam went there because he'd been there already. I went there because me and April was there, but we'd literally just arrived after them. They'd gone around,
just after the madness, literally. Yeah. I mean, literally. So there's like a forest. Monkey forest, hundreds of monkeys, right, all over. And then like I was taking the piss out of this guy because all the monkeys were jumping on this guy's bag trying to get in the bag. He obviously had food or drinking or something, and I was videoing him like, oh mate, you might as well give him the bag, like taking the piss. I definitely got my karma like 2 seconds later. So I'm like, we've got to walk down the stairs and there's mad monkeys all over the stairs, baby monkeys and that. But I stepped down and as I stepped, one of the monkeys rolled under my foot. So I stood on its leg or arm or something and it squealed and then all the monkeys just go whoa, 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 and they all just come out of nowhere and the big alpha's coming in. I was so scared, so I just run. I was like, oh, fuck. There was people, I was like, get away. And I was running. Oh my days, I was so scared. I was so scared. I can't explain
it. You screamed louder than the monkey.
I went, yeah, I did scream.
Mate, you know the funniest thing is, the day before we went there, he was telling me on Netflix at the minute, he's watching this thing called Chimpanzees and how they just how wild the monkeys are.
Gangs and stuff, so it didn't help.
Think that's what he thought about as soon as he stood on the monkey.
Yeah, because they just come out of nowhere and they were hissing and the teeth was there. Oh my god, I thought they were going to attack me and I was on a bridge, so like I was on a bridge.
He pushed his fiance
so, like, there was
on the floor out of the way.
There was no I couldn't get out if I didn't run. I was just going to be surrounded. And how can I tell a monkey that it was an accident? Do you know what I mean? Like, what am I supposed to say? Like, I can't explain it. Stupid fucking monkey. But it was the monkey forest was sick.
I wish I saw that, man.
I wish I see that.
Mate. Harry just says he just laughs to himself when he thinks about it all the time.
When Harry was describing it, it was jokes. Like he's older monkey.
Everyone was scared for me as well. And then we walked around the corner, and then there was like random people there, and they were like, "Was that what happened there?" Like, because they heard all the screaming and that, and they were like, "Yeah, that was me." Well, not me screaming, but
It was you
it was me
screaming.
screaming as well. After that, oh mate, my heart was. Even when I think about it, like I think about it a lot, my heart just drops. I'm like, oh mate, I nearly got died by his bear monkeys, bro. So yeah,
So boys, the question
Go
is,
there, though.
Bali, would you return or would you not return?
I'll go back 100%. I'm not really in a rush to go somewhere I've been before, so I wouldn't go out of my way to go there, but I fucking highly recommend it. I feel I did it all though. So
we kind of completed everything. There's like, if you want to try something new, there ain't
Yeah.
really that much new that we can try.
I'd just go. If I went back, I'd probably just choose 2 places. I'd probably go Gilly Tea for like 4 nights.
I'd move around a lot less.
Then
But
like
in,
Uluwatu, and then maybe end up in where we ended up.
in the same token though, like you said, I wouldn't have, if we went and didn't move around so much, we'd be thinking, I wish we moved around more.
I didn't go to
Yeah.
that
So
place.
You gotta do it the
like,
first
there's a
time,
balance.
innit?
There's a balance.
Yeah.
Did it all. I think why I sit because it's all about. Obviously, there's so much to do. There's obviously so many activities you can do, and we did it. We tried to do a lot of it. All right, we were playing paddle, we were on the bikes, whitewater rafting, quad biking, and then you've still got the parties if you want to go out.
See, I think it's actually
Sounds like Ringilly Tea now, can you that?
Yeah, that's it.
Sam on the back of a horse, mate.
I'm going to hell.
Yeah, Sam got on
This
the back
guy
of a
is going
horse.
to help because so when you get to Gilly Tea, there's horse and carriage. So earlier I said there's the 2 sides of the island. One side you got these poor horses pulling people along on a horse and carriage because these lazy people can't walk themselves 10 minutes. The other side, when you're watching a sunset at night, you just got these like beautiful horses riding through the sunset in the sea, like having the time of their life, doing what horses should be doing. They're the free ones, isn't it? But when we first we was on the earlier boat, so our hotel was on the main bit, so you could see Sam's hotel was like a few doors down from us. So we was all saying, we all walked and pulled our cases. And we said, do you reckon they'll get on the horse and cart? We see Jake going along, and his was the other side of the island. So he's pushing.
Mate, mine was like 40
he's pushing the
minute walk, mate.
suitcases.
I had 2 as well. Because April weren't pushing mine.
And then I said, I bet when everyone's saying will Sam or not get on, I said, I bet he gets on. And I said, his reason will be, at first he will say, no, I'm not doing it, it's bad for horses. And he'd come up with some kind of reason in his head. And I thought it would be like, but to be fair, as long as I tip them well, they're more likely to feed the horse well, look after them, and actually it's doing a good thing, so I'm going to do it, yeah? And then we just see we see Sam on the horse and cart go past. He just waves to us. 5 minutes later, we see his missus walking. Yeah,
wait, let me I just need to add some context into this story. Yeah, I'm gonna have the RSPCA hippies fucking sending me death threats after this episode goes out. So I didn't want to do it, but T was ill. I had like 2 big suitcases, 2 hand luggage bags, and I couldn't carry it by myself. I mean, I probably could have done, but I jumped on the horse and carriage. And I was trying to like ask the guy questions. I said, these horses, are they like looked after? He's like, yeah, very much so. They work 1 day on, 1 day off, and they do 4-hour shifts. I was like, okay, so that's not so bad. Then I assessed like the weight of the horse. I thought he looked quite healthy. He must have an okay life.
He's going to get me there without dying.
And then my justification was like a couple 100 years ago, before cars, horses would be sent on a battlefield to die. I'm paying this guy 100,000 just to take me 2 minutes down the road. But you know what the baddest thing is? When I'm on this horse and carriage, right, I'm like driving past all of these people walking, and there's like these Swedish birds looking at me, just shaking their head in disgust. Like everyone was looking at me like I was a piece of shit, man.
I mean, loads of people do it though. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
loads
of
of
course.
people that were doing it.
To be
Yeah,
fair, on
it's-
the way
it is what
back,
it is.
I did send my cases.
Did you?
Yeah, because, mate, on the way there, mate, it took about 40 minutes pushing 2 suitcases, and the wheels are basically fucking broke. So...
The other side was sick when the sun sets. It was like silhouette. It was like Lloyd's TSB advert, and where
Yeah,
the
with the horses
sunsets
just
is all
running.
silhouette, and because the sea, like you can walk so far out in the sea, and it's still shallow. So like, you're talking like, I don't know, 50 meters away. It's still proper shallow, and there's horses running through there and shit. It was sick.
I still can't get over how like cheap it was to get like a massage there. It's like so mad. Every day, just get them masseuse come to the villa, or even when you're out and about, £8.50 for an hour. It's like you just have to get it every day, like £8.50.
Yeah.
And
Some
it's
of the
so
village
good
you
as
boys
well.
stayed in was sick.
Yeah, some of the villas we stayed in were unreal, man.
Yeah.
It makes you think about a different life when you're in Bali. That's one thing I will say. Would you boys agree? Like, when you get talking to people, you meet this Aussie guy, he trades like crypto and Forex, another guy's running an SMMA, like fully remote. And you can probably live like a really nice life out there. I'd probably say for like $2,000 a month, you could live it. I don't think you'd be able to live like a baller of $2,000 a month, but you could live nicely off 2K a month out there.
Yeah, and I think you just could have like the headspace to just make the right moves. If you just got yourself a little break in front, time to think, time to like just not be so like doing business whilst not being amongst how it is here, just rush. Everything's just crazy. It's like quite a lot of negativity. Like if you was in a good environment, as long as you could be disciplined enough to still do some work, I think you could be in a mindset to make something really good happen. But I think my downfall would be
distractions.
I just wouldn't. I'd get in bad routine, bad habits. I'd end up not really doing too much work.
Yeah, I agree. This is one reason why I've learned to love the UK a little bit, is because if I come here in January, there isn't really anything to do. It's cold, it's wet. It's like the UK for me is now grind land.
That's
I come
business,
here to grind,
yeah.
and then you go overseas to enjoy yourself. It does, you know, sometimes you always want what you haven't got, though. I do go to places like Dubai and Bali, and I think it'd be so cool to live out here. But then when I'm in those places, there's always a couple of things I miss about home as well. Like in Bali, all I wanted was beans on toast. You know, I just wanted a safe meal. Yeah, I know that sounds mad.
It wouldn't have even been safe out there. Beans on toast,
Yeah, there's nothing safe out there food-wise.
Absolutely not.
I think, like for me, I think if you was plotted somewhere like Dubai, which is obviously more nearer and connected to so many other places in the world as well, if you're plotted somewhere like that, which is a nice balance of like you've got the hustle, but you've got the enjoyment, the luxury, earning good money, then you're in a good place to pop off and go and live the island life for a bit more chilled. Come back home. Like,
I think geographically, Dubai is perfect if you like Southeast Asia, because it's the halfway point, right?
Yeah.
But even with Dubai, like, I just don't know, it's too fucking hot, lads. Like, for 6 months of the year, you can't even go outside.
Yeah, but that's
because
because you don't live there for that 6 months, innit?
Some people do come back.
Everyone, most people come back. Well,
Yeah,
no,
but
not
a lot
most,
of
a
people
lot
come
of
back
people.
As long as
come
you
back.
ain't got a job, innit?
Yes,
If you're doing like business, like working from their business, you're not gonna. Why would you stay there in July and August and shit? Come back to the UK for summer, then a couple months a year go elsewhere in Asia or something, and then just be there for the best months. I think it's yeah. I do like islands though. I've come to find like my favourite places are Isla Mujeres in Mexico. That's similar to Gili T. Gili T. I went when I was in Thailand just now. I was on Koh Samui, which is an island, but actually the island off that Koh Tao, that was so sick. I think they're
Do
like
you mean
my
more
three.
like smaller islands?
Like
where
small, where it just feels like I'm an island, proper
You know
island.
where you are,
Island
innit? You
boy.
know that
I can
you're
walk
in
around the
spot.
island. There's no cars there. They're all just proper island, chilled.
Yeah.
Golf
I love
carts
it.
in Ilha Mujeres,
Yeah,
isn't
golf
it?
carts in Isla Mujeres. Pedal bikes in
Gili.
Gili T and Koh Tao. There is cars in Koh Tao, to be fair. Is there? Yeah, there is cars in Koh Tao.
PP
But
Island in Thailand as well, there's no cars.
yeah. The only thing with PP is quite dirty.
Yeah, it is. I got really bad food poisoning in PP as well, actually.
Yeah.
Like, bad. I haven't had a Thai curry since. That was in 2020.
Really?
But no, I agree. I like the island life, man. Island life is definitely fun. I think the key is, like, I think one of the reasons why we all work so hard, why I work so hard, I love to travel. And I don't think the UK is actually that much of a bad place if you can leave when you want to leave. Like, I always like, when I feel a bit burnt out, go on a holiday for a couple of weeks, come back to the UK. And when you are overseas...
Ready to go again, isn't it?
Yeah, like, you know, when you are in Bali, because Bali's not perfect, it's very third world, you know, people are poor out there. There's like holes in the pavements and shit. It does make you realise that it's not so bad in the UK. We're actually still... There's so many worse places that we could all live.
Yeah, I
Even though it has its
wouldn't
problems.
live in Bali personally, because
No.
the way I described Bali is it's an it's an absolute shithole until you hit paradise, and then it is full on paradise. But
Yeah.
in between, it's a fucking shithole. It stinks. It's dirty.
This is the thing.
Holes in the
Even
pavement.
some of the restaurants, you go into the nicest restaurants, and then next door is just shithole. And then you'll go next door to that. Then there's a really nice restaurant again, just like in between.
It was the same with the villas, you know. Like we'd be staying in this beautiful
Oh, my
5-star
days,
villa,
yeah.
and then infinity pools, everything, and then like you turn around, it's like Instagram versus reality. There's just people living in huts.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
literally,
true.
you
The
know.
whole Instagram versus reality, two
Is-
sides of the
yeah.
camera.
Yes.
Yeah, that is totally
out
true.
there, that's literally it.
Yeah.
I just remember like going to, on the first day, where was that place in the, where's that first place where we met you?
Creta.
Creta. Like that, on the way there, we was just in traffic where the whole way it was just a shithole. It's like traffic, shithole, the whole thing. There's not a single normal looking shop. It was just dive. And then it's like, just turn right. Literally, not even a long driveway. It was just like, pull in here,
Paradise.
you walk through a building door, and then you're just like, it feels like you're in the middle of the jungle. It's paradise. It's,
Yeah, it was sick.
it was like, what
Right,
the
it was
hell?
good.
Like, this is unbelievable.
You
I was
wouldn't
like,
expect
where
this
am
to
I?
be
This
here,
is like
innit?
10 out of 10
Yeah,
place.
yeah.
Like, unreal.
I find it really humbling though, like, because you are right. You know, when you're driving from location to location, it's just shit. But then you start speaking to the people that live in these shit places, and they're just so fucking happy, man. Like, I don't know. The
That's the
Balinese
best
people
thing,
are
Balinese
so
people.
happy.
Yeah,
That was the
they're
best
so
thing about
nice.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, they're so
Respectful,
nice.
happy. They're always laughing. Like at first, I thought, I don't know if these guys are just like putting this on, but the more I spectated them, like, yeah, these guys. Are
Yeah,
just
it's like
happy.
you think
They're
like,
just happy
these
people.
guys are maybe doing it because they want a tip. You know, some places you feel
Yeah,
like hey,
yeah.
you're going over the top because you definitely want a tip.
They don't even.
Yeah, I
ask
didn't
for
feel
tips.
But
like
like
that at
literally,
all,
it's
nah.
like, mate, they'll just take what they can.
We gave
get.
our villa guy
Give him
like
anything.
100 quid, and he was like nearly crying, like legit, like he was like emotional. Like we
Yeah.
ended up giving another 100 quid just because he was like, I'm behind on my children's school payments. I haven't been able to pay them for 2 months. You don't understand like how much it's gonna help me. Like we're like, wow, like what?
I
the
rate
fuck?
that. I've done something similar. So I had this taxi driver from when I was out there in January called Echo. We liked him so much.
My
We just
guy.
got him to take us everywhere.
And pick me
I
up.
got him to pick you up as well. And on the last day, I was just asking him inquisitive questions. I was like, so like, where do you live? What's it like? And he just explained he lives in like basically a room with 2 kids and his wife. And I said, like, how much is your rent? And it worked out to be like £40 a month. And I said, like, what's your dream? Like, what are you kind of working towards? He just wants to save enough money to buy a bit of land back in Java and build a house. And he said he only needed the equivalent of like 7 or 8 grand to make that happen. And I said, like, how far away are you from, you know, hitting that goal? And he said, right now, his main priority is just paying off his car because he can't save until he pays off his car. And then some months he can't even pay his rent. I just felt so bad because, you know, when you spend a lot of time with someone, like, he's just genuinely a really nice guy. So on the last day I went to the cash point and I just took out the max. I think I could take out, I think it was like £250 or £300, which was the equivalent to maybe like 6 million. Then I had a bit of change left over, and when he dropped me off at the airport, I just gave him like the 6 mil, which is about probably £300.
Yeah, it is.
And I was like, I know it's your wife's birthday coming up, you know, take her for a trip, or here's your rent for 6 months. I've never seen him so happy, man. Like, I felt like I was going to cry seeing how happy he was. My missus actually was crying, and he was like, oh, thank you, mister, thank you so much. And literally, like, once a week since I've been back, he messages me and he sends me like pictures of his family and shit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He sent me a picture of his wife on his birthday, and he just always asked me, he's like, can you send me pictures of the UK countryside? So I like go on a walk in Godstone and I'll just take a video of a pond and send it to him. He's like, oh, so beautiful, mister. Yeah, I don't know, man. I just feel like when I make it, I think I'm just going to pay for his land. I'm going to just like buy him the 7K plot of land.
Really?
Yeah, I think so, man.
That's a goal.
Yeah, I'd love that. Just, I know how much.
I
it'd
can't
mean to
believe
him.
how cheap cabs were there, though. It was crazy.
Yeah,
Like,
the
you'd get a
cabs
cab
are
somewhere and it'd be
cheap.
like 2 quid, or you get a cab. Had to get a cab for 2 hours quite a lot of times when we're traveling between the cities. And it'll be 2.5 hours and you're in the cab for £17 between
Yeah.
4 of you. Between
Apart from
5
that one
quid each.
guy, they definitely bumped us. They charged us like 400 quid, including the boat and the thing. I was thinking, mate, you've done us dirty there.
No, you know the Mafia one, the Mafia taxis.
Oh yeah.
Mafia taxis.
We ain't even told you lots about this, have we?
Nah.
Mate,
This is the bookiest thing that happened when I
Yeah.
was there the whole time.
yeah,
other than
it was
the monkeys.
booky.
It was weird. So like we're at this hotel. It's like Encore by I don't know who, Wyndham, and we're getting, you know, you got the Grab app to get the cab. So we ordered a cab.
Is it Ubud or is this on the way?
no,
This
it's
was in
Seminac.
Seminac, yeah. So then the hotel did say, well, no, I saw someone in the hotel saying you can get dropped off by cabs, but you can't get picked up by them. I just thought they wouldn't come. So I thought, oh, it's not like an issue. So I ordered like a Go Grab to come. And then we walked up the road just to get in it because we were just waiting. So we walk up the road and then we got in it, and suddenly out of nowhere, like 10 of these guys, more than 10 of them, just come and surrounded the car.
No,
surrounded the car,
Yeah.
and I thought, oh wow, like,
So
we're about to
where
get
were you when
robbed.
this happened?
Seminyak.
Yeah,
Just
I thought-
outside our hotel.
Yeah, literally. I was like, well, I thought we were going to get robbed. We was looking at each other like, what's going on? And what the driver of the Grab was going, he looked scared and he was going, I'm sorry, lads.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
he couldn't speak English,
And I
really.
thought-
And he just
Oh
said, I'm
my
sorry,
God.
I'm sorry. We're like, mate, drive, innit? I'm
They
like,
were
drive.
just drive off. And he's like,
I'm sorry.
And I thought, oh my
oh,
days,
here
we're
we go.
fucked.
Do
You
you
know,
think
like
he set you up?
No,
Was it like a
so then So then it's confusing, and all these guys are surrounded the car, like, and they're like, no one's telling us what's going on. And we're just looking at each other like, what do we do? What do we do? And I'm like, and he keeps just saying sorry, and now I'm just like, what do we? So we just got out. And then
But then he was like, one of the guys outside went to Volk and was like, what, do we get out? And he's like, you get out or you can stay. And it was so, but like in a dodgy way where we're thinking, what's going down here? Anyway, then we ended up getting out, walked down, and then he was like, he tried to pick us up again.
So we got off, walked down the road back to the hotel. Like, what the fuck's going on? Like,
Were you scared when you got out of the car?
I thought they were gonna rob us. Yeah, I had my phone. Like, I hid my phone and
Mate,
that.
the
Like,
thing is,
yeah.
the Bali, there's no crime. Like, there's
No,
hardly
these
any-
guys
mate,
are the
these were on
mafia,
it, bruv.
mate.
Why do you think they done
So
that?
then we walked off. And then we were like, what the fuck's going on? And we said to like the hotel security, he was like, oh yeah, like it's he was like, yeah, local cabs, like they have to take you everywhere. Like the local
So
drivers,
basically,
they have to take
the
you.
hotel's
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
and then so we actually chose the worst place to get in.
Yeah, outside
It was
there.
outside their shack thing. Yeah, the taxi shack of theirs. So, and they're literally like, they're 50 meters from the hotel and they can see the hotel. And so they basically control. So that's why you're allowed to get dropped off, because you could be coming from anywhere. But then they won't let taxis out. They basically say, nah, the hotel has to book a taxi from them and only them. But they also bump you. We paid, what was it, like
Yeah, they would like
40
no,
whatever.
10x the price.
They 10x'd the
No
price.
way.
It
Yeah.
was an actual 10x.
Yeah,
I was
literally,
like,
like-
that's a con. We were like, we're not paying that. And then we bartered him down, but it was still like triple.
Okay, so look, I can just get it on this app now for like whatever, like
That's why they get
£5.
so
And he's like,
angry.
okay, well, you can do it for me, and he was still giving us high. I'm like, I'm not going to pay it, bruv. Like, not. We just walked off or whatever. But then the Grab driver, after like 2 minutes, they let him go. So we drove around the corner, and then we were like, should we get in or should we not? And he's like, come. So we got in it, and then he had to drive past them. And then he drove past them, and then drove past like really slow past
we
them.
were like, what
And
are you doing,
they
mate?
didn't see us, but then
Yeah.
as soon as we got past, they saw us, and we're like, drive. And then he's just going really slow. Like, I'm saying, like really slow, like looking back, like,
Yeah, like
as
he
if,
was
like
a
waiting for them
pussy.
to catch up. I was like, just fucking drive, bruv. And he's like, sorry.
Have you seen that? Have you seen that video of the guy getting stabbed in the back of the car? Where
Yeah, I
he's
have,
like,
yeah,
drive.
Uncle drive,
And he's
Uncle
like,
drive.
yeah, and the guy just stood there. That was this taxi man. We're like, mate, just
Yeah.
fucking drive.
Oh, mate,
You
that
know
was
what? You know when you
booky at
guys
the
got
time.
circled, right? And then the guy was just like, "I'm sorry." I bet, like, all I would have been thinking is this guy.
You would have been
set
paranoid.
Set me up,
I was
little
thinking
prick.
about if I was with Sam would have.
I actually weren't that paranoid because it was
I
just a
probably would have
weird.
gone out and started trying to defend myself. I don't even know what I
It was
would have
just a
done.
weird
Sort
vibe.
of
It was so
banging-
weird.
No
It just
idea
felt
what's
so
going on,
freaky.
just banging anyone.
It was very strange. So yeah.
Oh fuck!
I
But
wouldn't
I
stay
know
there
I do know
again.
why they do that. So a similar thing happened to me in January. I got off the boat in Gilly, and they wouldn't let me get Echo to pick me up or a Grab. They were like, no, you have to use the local taxis, and they started following me and T like on push bikes and shit and peds, and like T had a panic attack, started crying. I was like, look, you don't need to stop fucking following me because you're scaring my missus. And then I had to end up hiring one of them to drive us. But I kind of get it. It's because, you know, like with Grab and Go checks, the drivers only get 10%. So it's going to like a big corporate that's not even in Indonesia. Whereas if you hire local drivers, it's like pumping more money into that economy. But they go about it wrong though. Like if you're going to charge 10x, of course you're going to drive people to want to get, you know, Grabs and Go checks. So
Yeah.
But they've literally bottomed out. They've just gone as cheap as they can go, and it's like they're in competition with like, the cheapest thing.
Yeah, it was strange, but yeah, I was spooky.
I guess it's kind of like black cabs and then Ubers as well.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. That's exactly right. Yeah.
How do we wrap this up?
Anything? Is there anything that obviously cut this out? But is there anything that we haven't mentioned that was funny, or anything that happened that was jokes? Covered most of it really to do, bud.
Well, I'll tell you what. The goal was oh, we're going away, all of us boys, we can film a podcast. Definitely we're going to do vlogs. I think we've just about managed to scrape a vlog together, have we, Harry?
I think we need to add all
I've got
of us
loads of stuff I can send you.
I think we should do that in the next couple of days, upload all the content.
Do it later,
because he'll be able to put some of it on this stuff.
Yeah.
We'll sort that, yeah.
But so anyway, we've maybe just about got a vlog we can piece together. We done no podcast. We didn't get any content. Sam said on the podcast before going, yeah, we're going to all the beach clubs. We're going to go and interview people. We done none of it.
We didn't.
Took the
I'm
microphone.
having too much fun, man.
We're the worst content creators in the world. So
Yeah,
that's how we're going to
feels
wrap
bad.
this one up.